so we can really hear the articulation there. That's really the main things in the right hand. One rhythmic thing that's interesting is, for example, at bar 23 and 24. Where it's moving in triplets, and then you've got your normal dotted quaver, semi-quaver, dotted rhythm. When you put the hands together, it sort of works out quite well if you just put that note after the last triplet. Some people will play it as a triplet, but that's a sort of style point we can investigate later. Okay, learning the left hand. So as we talked about, the left hand is very much chords, and you can use finger pedal technique. We don't want it, of course, to sound. That's not interesting at all. So finger pedal technique, holding the bottom note a little bit longer and merging those. Make sure you've practiced just the bass note, and then maybe the bass and the others a bit softer, and then maybe all three, and listen to holding them. You'll find your hand will need to move, your arm will need to move to help make that bottom note sing. In the left hand, there is, remember we said that joins, so you get to play an arpeggio, and the left hand stops being accompaniment and becomes melody. Make sure that joins. We don't want a hiccup. That's something Haydn does a lot too, is takes a bass note, which you think is a bass note, then comes up here and becomes a beautiful melody. So Clementi's doing that as well. In all left-hand accompaniment or bass line notes in this style, classical style, we need to think about whether they're joined or separated, and if they're separated, the length of the notes. As I said, this is a rather romantically edited edition which has left-hand crotchets, such as these in bar 7, slurred, which is what I was just doing. That sounds okay. We need to decide. At the moment I'll stick with what's in this edition, and later on we'll find some other editions and see if Clementi really wrote this or whether this is just the editor's view. In this middle section we have big cello melodies, which do sound quite good joined. So listen to the left hand talking to the right hand. Combined. This cello melody is quite nice here at bar 16. And then we have a little bit of separation, and as it gets back at bar 18, we can be legato there. So the left, once you know the notes and the fingering and the rhythm of the left hand very well, we must also think about the length of the notes and the separations, whether they're separated or joined. A lot of these are quite joined, I think. Okay, and the tempo, I would think, is an andante, a sort of walking pace. I would think around 63. We'll try with no subdivisions. See if that works. 63 beats per minute, 2, 3. That sort of seems to work okay. Or could be a little bit faster, of course. The other thing I didn't yet talk about is in the right hand you have these trills. So, with all trills, the important thing is where is the main note and what finger is going to be on it. Our first job is to make sure we know where the main note and can play the melody with the main note. Main note. Our second job is to make sure we know which notes we're trilling with. Usually, if that's our main note, a G, the trill is going to be up a note And it might have a turn at the end. That'll be written in as 2 semitones. This one does have that. What we can do is practice chunking the main and its upper neighbour, the ones that are going to be used in the trill. It'll sound funny. Just the melody. Chunking main, the chunking with the trill notes. But useful because it gets your fingers ready. This trill will start on the upper note. And I think it'll work quite nicely with 6 notes. Normal would be 1. But that doesn't sound too good, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's why in so much of this style, classical music style, the composer and the convention is that there's a little turn at the end. And we come up from underneath, but the last one is coming from underneath the trill note. A, G, A, G, F, G. Sounds quite good. Again, if you do 6 notes, it lines up well with the triplets. In super slow motion. Normal tempo. So make sure you know where all of those notes are there. Okay, polishing this piece. The real issues are balance between the hands and also the use of the pedal. I was then playing with quite a lot of pedal, but we look at polishing in another video. Okay, hope you enjoy that. It's a very beautiful piece, and in another video we'll look at the third movement.